Welcome to the MLB Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Maddie and Josh back with you guys on a Wednesday with plenty of day games here. We're going to stick to the ones that are going to be going off as by the time you guys are able to see this video. So coming off a 3-in-1 day, that's what I asked for yesterday. A couple plus money hitters in there as well. Feeling pretty good as we come back into this one here for Wednesday. And we're going back to one of our favorite bets, the one that cashed yesterday for us, Maddie, talking about the Astros in that same series. How you feeling about them at plus 110? You said you liked it even better than yesterday, despite the fact that we got the plus 130 off of that one.
Yeah, this is simple. The wrong team is favored. Like I don't know what else to say. I got this at plus 120 at like, I don't know, I think like 9:30 this morning. It's already moved to plus 110. It's going to close in like this is going to close a pick 'em. I feel very certain about that. Elmer Rodriguez doesn't have it. Peter Lambert, he got blown up last game. I think we're seeing like I think we potentially saw like the market selling on him a little bit at open, but this line makes absolutely no damn sense. Like Peter Lambert has been fantastic all year long. And I'm not saying the Yankees can't get to him, but do I trust the Yankees to get to anyone right now? I don't really. That was part of the handicap yesterday. Obviously, that was a high scoring game yesterday, but I have the better pitcher here by a mile and a freaking half. Watch Elmer become Paul Skeens, go 6 shutty, but I just don't see it in the cards here. The biggest advantage is that Elmer just is not a starting pitcher in the major leagues. He has 4 starts and he has never completed 5 innings in any of them. He has a 4.97 ERA, a 184 WHIP, a 6.06 xFIP. I rest my case. I don't need to say anymore, but I will. Peter Lambert is not someone that I just blindly back. He's a solid starting pitcher. He's one of Houston's better starting. He might be their best starting pitcher since Hunter Brown hasn't been it this year. He got blown up last game. And I think that's the reason this number opened where it's at. And then also the name recognition, we can all admit it. The name that New York Yankees holds weight in the market. But that's all it does right now is it's holding name recognition weight. Like this line is incredibly wrong. It's going to close even money at worst. Houston will be in this game in all phases of the game. I looked at the bullpen. There's no problem there. Both bullpens are, I won't say they're taxed, but they're not looking great. We have the obvious pitching advantage. The bats at worst, and I'll be generous and give some credit to the market, is a wash. Other than that, why is this plus 110? Why was it plus 120? It's going to close even money.
Yeah, I love it. You asked me if I wanted the Stros early this morning. I knew that meant that you wanted the Stros early this morning, and I couldn't even get to respond to you. So on air, I'll apologize for that. But more importantly, glad to tail on this one with you. We were in a spot yesterday with them where it was like the 5th. It was just kept being tied at the end of an inning, right? It was like 2-2, 3-3, 5-5, and I was like, great. That's what you want. I have plus 130 on a pick'em. That's what I want. And so if you get plus 110 on the pick'em, you're still playing a number where it's like, where's the advantage for the Yankees? I suppose maybe in the lineup maybe a smidge, but the Stros have just been a little bit bad in the last couple of weeks. And yesterday was not one of those days where the lineup. It was one of those days where the lineup came through. Agreed with you on the pitching edge here. So no real notes there. The bullpen, I still give the slight edge to the Stros. But you had one more point on it.
Yeah, the one thing baseball has taught me this year is the price matters on everything.
Yeah.
And price is just a probability. So if you look at the plus 110, I think that's representative of like 45% of the time.
Yeah, a little more.
The Houston wins this game more than 45% of the time, every single time. Like there's not a singular doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it's probably close to fair, but again, I think when you just have a slight enough edge, there's so many bets to be made in baseball throughout the course of the season that that edge definitely carries weight over the more time and more games and more samples. So, give me the Mets, baby. Let's talk about too little, too late, man. You know what's really annoying, and here's my biggest thing with the Mets. So a 3.5 team total here today. In their matchup with Dustin May, who we've talked about a decent amount on the show, actually. Not even really about Dustin May. Although, to be fair, he's been hit pretty hard lately. Yeah. He was just hit really hard for 7 earned in his last start, only made it the 2 innings there. So he's got a couple of blunders under his belt here in recent starts. The Mets have been the freaking, the 21 Nats or what, like they've been crushing right-handed pitching. They have the second best WRC plus over their last 2 weeks. That's up at 132. They're looking at 4 or more runs scored in what is this, in 7 matchups, last 7 against righties, all last 7 against righties, 4 or more runs that they've put up as well. There's some pretty clear reasons for this. First of all, the Mets' underlying slugging and power numbers were kind of always there. They were always in the top 50th percentile of the league in terms of their expected power numbers. That just was not coming through for them earlier in the season. Metrics like they had I think they had the third best hard hit rate over May and June, and couldn't find a hole, couldn't find a gap, and didn't have any loft on their hits either. But now you've just got guys either turning it around or coming back to the team, and that's what I attribute all of this to, because they're, like I said, top 3 or 4 in all the crucial stats for batting against righties in the month of August. Bo Bichette, first guy I'll talk about, to be the guy that's turned it around the most. This is like the streakiest dude in the history of baseball, at least for the last like 3 years. Like this dude will go 1 for 48 over a stretch, and then all of a sudden he's just batting like 420 for a stretch. So he's got a 900 OPS in August right now. Then you've got Luis Robert Jr. as well. He finally found his power stroke. He was also hurt earlier in the year. The catcher, Luis Torrens as well. He's been heating up in the last couple of weeks. Really, the last thing here is they've been making really great contact. They've actually been a little bit more worried, I think, about contact than, and barrel rate specifically than maybe, the loft and the angle that they're hitting at, which has been super helpful. Just take what they're giving you, and that's really helped the power. And then you've got guys like Carson Bench coming in, right? The rookies. They've given up on the season. It's almost just like there's nothing to worry about anymore, and everybody's just swinging free and loose. So I love them to be able to get the 4 runs here against Dustin.
Yeah, I don't mind this. I would be curious to know what their ROI is post All-Star break, or really within the last 50 games, because I would venture to say it's massively positive. And by massive, I mean probably in the close to the double digits. They have been excellent over the last 50. Like in a lot of those games, they have been dogs because of how poorly they were early in the season. And to your point, it's all about like who was missing and who is not missing anymore. You got Jorge Polanco back in the lineup. You got Francisco Lindor back in the lineup.
I didn't even mention Lindor. That's totally on me.
Yeah, and then the only one you're missing right now, which is freaking scary, as successful as you have been, is Juan Soto. Mm-hmm. If I still think there's a fighter's chance that the Mets can to make it postseason. They have been excellent post All-Star break.
Don't do that to me. I don't need to get my hopes up on some nonsense like that right now.
You know who I don't have faith in making the postseason, but I do have faith in this game today. Yeah. Take me back to Seattle. Now this is squad. I understand. I hear the comments already. I'm already reading them, and like I want to go take a nap after this with my kid. And I'm probably going to be dreaming about how Jesus Luzardo is going to ruin this for me, or all of the bad comments y'all are going to tell me about how good Jesus Luzardo is. Let's be forward. I'm not going to make a case that I think Jesus Luzardo isn't good. I've backed him too many times on this podcast. It doesn't take you staring at a game log too long to realize Jesus Luzardo is not as dominant as he was middle of the season right now. And this is a game of the last couple of game logs and what the market's providing us, and who's hot right now and who's not. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I think the Mariners are hot. What I am going to do is I think the Mariners bats are in a better position today than the Phillies are. And what I mean by that is if you can just humor me and call Brian Wu at home specifically and Jesus Luzardo a wash, where's the scary part of this plus 120 number? That's the compelling question I have for anyone who's listening. Seattle over the last couple of games have just like taken the top off of their they've just been hitting the ball really well. Naylor's seeing it really well. Kyle Raleigh has 5 home runs in the past 2 games. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, this is kind of the same conversation as the Mets, not the same exact formula, but There were so many missing pieces in this lineup. There were so many missing pieces where the ball just wasn't landing where it should. You had your probably your number one bat in Kyle Raleigh last year, who had 60 home runs and has under 50 hits, just over 50 hits on the year this season. You're going to get some regression to that mean. Not saying the regression is 60 home runs a year, but if he's hitting 60 home runs last year, like he's going to get more than 50 hits in a year. And so like, I think you're going to see more regression to that mean. And if I think Jesus Luzardo and Brian Wu can cancel each other out, which I think it's a legitimate like idea at least. I don't think this number should be plus 120 because the Phillies bats on the road, especially in T-Mobile, are not good. And Seattle comes into this game up 2-0 to the Phillies. Now you could make the argument that the Phillies have more reason to win this game. I would make the argument they want to get the hell out of Seattle because they're not having a great time there. I just think this plus 120 number is just too long for this particular setting in this particular spot. The Mariners can get blanked today. I'm not saying that they should win. I'm not saying that they will win. I'm saying this number is simply too long for the current spot. Jesus Luzardo would have to come out with his best version, I think, for this number to make sense. I don't know that we can reliably count on that. Seattle's offense has just been too good, and how this can fail is they turn into their inconsistent previous self. I just think that's already baked into the number, and it's still wrong at plus 120.
Yeah, I think that's all fair, man. No real notes on that. I know we love to back Jesus, but yeah, I think the recent form stuff is kind of what we're following here, and I'm on the same boat in the trend. I mean, this has been a long trend at this point for the Sox, so it's not like this is like brand new and I'm going out on a limb. This has been since the All-Star break that this has been the best offense in baseball. They had won 27 of 30 games at one point just a couple weeks ago. They were in that stretch there. So they're absolutely still just completely on fire. They've got a 128 WRC plus over the last couple weeks against righties. They're just absolutely slaughtering righties, especially. That's actually third behind only the Mets and the Mariners. Thought it was interesting to bring them up since that's the last two bets we just spoke about. And we're covering all the top offenses in the league right now, especially against righties, even though I know Luzardo will be going up against the Mariners as a lefty. But either way, Ryan Gusto is going to be going up here for the Marlins against the Sox. 4.4 on the ERA, 1.5 whip. So he's basically right just below average in most of these things, maybe in the like 35th percentile, that range there. But for the Sox, like there's a couple of reasons for their turnaround, dude. First of all, obviously Willier is going to be the guy that gets the bulk of the credit when he's leading the league in home runs since the All-Star break, and is still at the bottom of the batting order and just proves that they are dangerous from 1 to 9 at this point. They've also been taking a lot more, man. They've just had way better control. They had the thing that stood out is the lack of chasing. Their chase rate's way down, and their launch angle. So they're waiting for their shot for the right moments, and then they're hitting the ball in the exact fashion that they want to get the power and get the home runs. Definitely taking more out of the zone and swinging at better stuff in the zone. It's that simple. That's what all the underlying metrics kind of tell us about this squad. I think that's going to continue to be the case in this one. The thing that is incredible is that the batting average has remained so high, and the X batting average, all of that stuff has remained super high as they're continuing to slug and have the highest ISO and OPS and all the power numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to back them to score. The 4.5 are even money. They've scored 5 or more pretty consistently here. I'm looking, this is 5 or more in 6 of their last 8. So nice little 8-game sample there where they're still doing what they've been doing, especially against righties. Love this spot for them. I think you were talking about liking this one as well, yeah?
Yeah, there's a couple things I like in this game, and I almost took two things that did not correlate together, but I still think they both hit. Like, one, well, I'll start with the Red Sox. Over 4.5 team total makes so much sense here, and it's kind of correlated. And what the point I'm about to say, if you watched any of the last game, the previous game, you know that they went to extra innings and some bullpens were utilized, and I think that's probably why you like this number too. There's going to be some arms that are tired in this game, and Ryan Gusto is not a guy I trust. I think Ryan Gusto gets hit up. I think unless the Boston bats are tired, which I think it's a lot less likely, I think Ryan Gusto is going to get absolutely hit up. I also like, and I'll give this one out for free. You don't have a graphic for it, but it's in the same game. If you can get Ryan Gusto over 14 and a half pitching outs for Miami at like minus 110 or better, I think it's worth a half unit. If not, unless you want to just go ahead and put the full 1.1 on it. The reason being is because who's going to throw for Miami? They need this guy who's going to eat. Actually, let me take this back. Let me ask a better question. Who's going to eat innings for Miami? I think they need Ryan Gusto to go at least 5 innings minimum. I put in my write-up because I gave this out to some friends. I fully expect Boston to blow Ryan Gusto up. I still think he goes 5 innings just because they have no arms available. And when a team has no arms available, both the starting pitcher typically goes further into the game, and also the opposing bats have a wonderful, wonderful day, and it's just batting practice. So yeah, I like the over 4.5 team total, especially at plus 100. And then I love Ryan Gusto over 14.5 pitching outs. I got it at even money. It's already at minus 110. I still think it's playable up to maybe minus 115-ish.
Love it. Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun down the stretch, I think, here in baseball overall. So there's still going to be plenty to talk about with so many teams still in the race there. But that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, coming back to you with Thursday baseball for tomorrow. So make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Continue to follow along till we see you then. Happy betting.